All right. So guys, on a key man policy, there are a few things that we have to understand, right? Let me see if I can find that document. All right. Webb, will you do me a favor? Will you look back through, I think it's in the producer's chat. Trey Lynn had posted a Keyman PDF that she had made. Um, because there's a few things, right? So if you list someone on a key man policy as an owner, right, then the underwriting sort of follow-up questions are going to be, okay, are they the sole owner? Or are there multiple owners? Because if there's multiple owners, there should be multiple policies, and it should be an equivalent percentage split between the key man side of things.
Mhm.
Now, you can have a key man policy for someone who's not an owner, but it just starts to get a little gray. Okay. Um, because when it comes to then, okay, well, how much are we insuring them for? Are we replacing X years of salaries? Are we replacing production, right? Now, that's not all stuff that there's nothing different, right? The application is the application. The only thing that gets different is the owner, like the owner of the policy is the business, right? The individual is not their owner.
Right,
The payer is the business.
right,
The business is also the only beneficiary.
right,
There's no contingent beneficiary. You can't list it that way. It's just there, right? And so those things are the way that those policies work. Now, your brother could be a like key man covered employee, right? That helps the business because God forbid something happens to your brother. Now Jermaine has his life insurance to go hire and payroll and pay a new mechanic, right? That does not help your brother's family.
Oh, I understand that
Yeah,
part.
yeah. No, I'm just saying like, but
Yeah.
that's where the two things like if we were to cover your brother through the key man policy for Jermaine's towing company, right? Then he just needs to clearly understand that the business is the one getting paid should something happen to him. And so
Right,
where that happens for for Jermaine as well is okay, you can be covered here from a business perspective, but the business is going to get the life insurance policy. Your family is not. So you should still, in that case, have two. You should have one for your family and then one for the business,
right.
right?
Yeah, I guess I was getting confused because you said something about articles of incorporation and all the
Yep. If
behind the scene.
if he's listed as an owner, you're
He's not. Yeah.
okay. And
Okay.
then if he's not listed as an owner, in that case, yeah, he can. But does he have access to the like business checking account information to then pay for that?
Well, Jermaine would be taking this out, not my brother.
So
Jermaine is the business owner.
okay, there you go, right? So if he's the owner,
Yeah.
then he will need to bring in articles of incorporation, whatever documents that were created. Like those are things that most likely underwriting is going to ask for.
Okay. All right. So it's not that he can't. It's just he's going to have to prove that he's just going to have to prove that this is a critical person in his business of some sort. Is that how that works?
If he, so for your bro, for Jermaine, if he's listing himself as the owner, then we will likely have to include the articles of incorporation and that sort of thing. For your brother, if you're not listing him as an owner and he's just like a key employee,
Hmm.
then
Okay.
not necessarily no.
Okay. And that's what I was trying to kind of wrap my head around.
Yeah. Yep.
So in like Helen and her husband's situation where they're co-owners, managers of the LLC, but
Yeah.
James would like to get a policy, key man policy, that
Hmm.
technically, if she's the other owner,
They should both be covered.
they would both be covered. And then she has access to all that, so she could take care of those rental properties in his absence if something happened, because she has access and she's on the account. And she, okay.
So if they're both like equivalent owners,
Mhm.
right, from a business perspective, when when underwriting is looking at it, if you've
Mhm.
got if he's owner, right, and he's 50% owner, then they're going to say, well, why is he covered and not the other owner?
Right.
Because that's normally what like an agreement
Mhm.
from like just from a business perspective.
Okay.
So, but the nice thing about that too, then, right? Since in that situation, they're spouses, they're both co-owners. The business is sort of like their shell, I would assume, right, for the rental properties.
Yes.
In that case, they can both get about as much life insurance as they want, and it's still tax deductible because it's a business expense.
Yeah.
So what like there's not really a better way for them to like get covered than that.
Yeah. Plus, they still have those other outside ones if they decide they want both. And keep them all, you know?
Yeah, it don't matter. I'm just saying like
Yeah.
if you were like Helen, you would agree that you and your husband are underinsured. Well, what better way to make sure you guys have the right amount of life insurance than to make it tax deductible?
Mhm.
Wouldn't it make sense if your business could pay for it and write the whole thing off? It's a business expense. It's a key man policy. Right. And so, Webbs, thank you. Let me bring this up. So, Traylon made this a while ago. It was one of the first key man policies that we did.
That might be old, Noah. It took me a minute to find it, so we might have to just update this week on anything that might have changed in it.
I don't think anything's changed.
Okay.
And
I had
so,
to go back. I had to go back for that to find it.
yeah, I knew it was a while ago. It was like a year and a half ago, probably. So this is so like Michelle, like this would be Jermaine, right? So he's the proposed insured. His information, employment info, right? The business name, and then owner or whatever the title is, and then whatever kind of policy you're doing. Now, generally, if you're doing a business owner policy, like a key man thing, you're most likely doing a precision term. Like now, if it's a relatively small business, you could do power term, right? I mean, it's all relative to the size of the income or whatever we are looking to replace, right? And so, um, monthly bank draft, yep. And then, so policy owner, business, right? Name of
Yep.
authorized signer is the person, right? So the business owner is the business, and then, or the owner is the business, and then who is signing is the person. This is all business information. Okay. This is
Yep.
where like starting to figure out like the TIN and that sort of thing. Like that's the business's tax identification number or EIN, whatever they have. Payer information. The business owner is the payer, right? So that's where that has to go. Beneficiary, only the business. There is no contingent, right? Don't even click it because like it doesn't work because like the business is the only beneficiary that's allowable to be listed. Everything after that is just normal uh, application info because it's all individualized for the medical stuff.
And I guess for this particular instance, like,
Mhm.
and it's going to be because of his case. He is not married to Cassandra. Like, if he were to pass away, does he need a legal document to say what happens to the business, or is he going to need like,
Oh yeah,
okay,
1,000% yes. Like beyond yes.
okay,
Otherwise, that shit's going straight to probate,
yeah,
and
and
no, and
that's
nobody's
kind of
getting
what,
any of that.
yeah. So I'm gonna, because I was gonna, I wanted to run that by you, because I was gonna say a note, like we need to make sure
Yeah.
you have some sort of will in place, especially regarding your business and how you want that handled should you pass
Mhm.
away. Okay.
Yeah, because like since they're not married and the business is going to own the policy,
Yeah.
if she's not like she should be somewhere legally listed as a co-owner.
Yep. Or at least have some sort of power of attorney, minimum.
Even a
But,
power of attorney is not enough. It needs to be in a will, and she needs
Yeah.
to be legally documented as a co-owner.
and they may
Okay.
need to make an amendment to their articles of operation, which is what we had to do with my dad before he got to the point where he wasn't mentally capable of doing that. So we had to add an amendment saying that because it doesn't matter what's in the will if it's not in the articles of operation, it won't jive. So we had to do like, he didn't want to be removed as the owner operator. He still wanted to be on it for as long as he was capable. So instead of completely removing him and adding me, we did a congruent equal ownership, equal management amendment that says if something happens to me and I'm incapable, he can act fully on behalf of the LLC. If something happens to him and I'm the one left, I can act fully and make decisions. And that every single place I had to go into to transfer a checking account or move anything, they wanted to see that articles of operation to prove that I had equal management ownership, capability minus his involvement. So, but it's still in the will, but the will didn't hold any water at all. They still had to see that articles of operation with that specific verbiage in it.
And is that something that Legal Shield was able to help you with?
It was done before I had Legal Shield, so it was
Okay.
his attorney
In
that
that
did
one, I
it.
don't think so because the legal shield is a personal thing. It's not necessarily a
Okay.
business thing, but there is a business version of legal shield,
Okay.
which would then cover like employees. It's a more expensive plan, but it is an option. But just a simple amendment to that should just be relatively simple through like Florida Biz, whatever.
Okay.
And then yeah, it's literally just filing an amendment. Um, okay. Questions on that? Okay, perfect. So let's stop this recording just in case.